What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Epic 7 video. Today we have the Infinite Horizon Achates vid finally loaded up. I do kind of miss the days where they showed the character on patch day, which would have been yesterday, but you know what? As long as they give us like a good amount of time before the actual summon banner comes out, can't complain too much, right? Anyways, pretty hyped for this, really excited. All I know is that she's a light soul weaver, so let's go ahead and check this out together. Volume check. Let's go.
As my power is a blessing.
To be honest, guys, never been the biggest Achates fan, but I don't mind her. I like red Achates. Never liked Shooting Star though.
Brace yourself.
I think the light one is really cool though.
Infinite Horizon Achates was born into a noble family in his era. When her family discovered
What are we gonna call her? Light Achates?
Power, they decided to isolate her
Achates.
from the outside world. For a long time, they used her while she was kept secluded.
Oh, she's got the glasses.
But after a series of incidents,
I just want to pause real quick at the concept art. The weapon. Yeah, I like those futuristic glasses, almost like goggles, safety glasses.
Found herself being pursued by Azaran soldiers. During this time, Kairon sought
Oh
her
God,
out and
Kairon.
offered his assistance. Driven
Buff this
not
man.
only by gratitude for Kairon's help, but also by the sense of recognition for being seen as she truly was.
Very
Achates
cool. There's
uses
last
her
piece Corinne as
powers
well.
To help Kairon on his journey to Terranor.
He needs the help.
Infinite Horizon Achates.
All right, there we go, guys. We'll pause, take over on our own from here. Pretty cool backstory, though, related to Kairon helping him out on his journey. She's in that futuristic era with all the other characters like Crow, Operator, Sigrid, etc. You saw LPK there along with Kairon. And let's see, Light Soldier. Oh, it was Pisces. Okay. I remember I asked y'all yesterday what sign that was. Emperor releases attack, and Emperor's concentration is effect resist. All right. 12 base, 100 speed. All right. So very, definitely going to probably be like a more tanky, slower soul weaver with an emphasis on effect resist, but let's see.
4-star light elemental.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take over on our. We'll watch the animations and all that good stuff, but let's see first. Skill 3, Infinite Horizon Achates. We have Matter Reconstruction. So this is the one where we saw all the buffs, yeah? So just like Green Rin, let's see what it does here. I imagine it's going to give a random buff, okay? Dispels all debuffs from all allies. On a 4-turn cooldown after skill enhancement for 2 turns. Pretty good. For each debuff dispelled and recovering health. Okay, so it does a full dispel, a random buff, and also heals. Amount recovered increases proportional to caster's max health. Alright, so she will be HP scaling on the healing. And when the skill is available according to the cooldown count, at the end of an enemy's turn, increases combat readiness of the caster by 50%. Okay, that's really cool. I kind of like these where you're sort of rewarded for sometimes holding skills. There's a few units like this. Either you get like a combat readiness push, or you'll have like a damage reduction present as long as the skill is available. And hers gives a 15% combat readiness push, which is definitely helpful because her speed isn't the best. So the random buff selection includes, wow, we have Gab in here. We have increased crit chance, which honestly, guys, I think is pretty weak. It actually isn't as bad as it used to be with maybe like Landy out there. ML Landy, of course. Because most typically you guys are going to have your crit chance at a point where you like it. And so typically, right, a lot of that crit chance is wasted. You shouldn't be ever running at, super low crit. But I guess against anti-crit could help out. Increased crit hit damage, very good. Increased speed, increased defense, all very strong. Increased crit hit resistance is strong, even though it never works. For me, at least. Immunity, good. Revive, wow, okay. Barrier and stealth. Dang, this is really strong. There's not really too many misses in there. Besides, I would really just say increased crit hit chance. And like I said, there's even uses for this now. So, very strong buffs. If you just high roll, like, increased greater attack buff on a certain unit, revive potentially, things like that, right? Stealth, this is actually insane. So on top of also healing, we'll have to see how much healing she gets, but the fact that she heals, has combat readiness if she holds the skill, and it's a full dispel, which is very important, right? Units like Maid Chloe with only 2 cleanses sometimes can get overwhelmed, and then you aren't able to remove certain very, very important debuffs like stun, for example. All right, well, the skill 3 is already very, very strong. I'm glad there's not a lot of filler buffs in here. That's usually what kills these randomized buffs, is there's like some really bad buffs in the list that just aren't very good. It really lowers the quality of the buffs you can receive. But let's go ahead and check out the animation again. I know we saw it in the intro, but I always like to rewatch these one more time. So, oh my god, look at all those debuffs on this test team. The animation looks good though. And wait, I just want to look at that one more time here. Yeah, she kind of shifts over. If anyone here, I don't know how old you guys are watching, but Minority Report, when Tom Cruise is swiping through the screen, yeah, she's looking through all the buffs. She gets all that dispels. But anyways, let's move on here, guys. Wow, 2-turn cooldown on a skill 2. That's very, very strong. Unbridled Potential. With a Mysterious Power, dispels 2 debuffs from an ally. So she has even more debuffs. So her skill 3 dispels everything, and her skill 2 dispels 2 debuffs. Kind of like Destina, but Destina's skill 3 is on a very, very long cooldown. Where Achates, I believe, is on 4. Destina's is like 5. So this is already a little bit better. Of course, Destina has a revive, though, but doesn't have those insane buffs. So this will grant a barrier and the combat readiness, right? So that's very strong. And then the barrier strength will also increase proportional to caster's max health. Dispels 2 debuffs. Okay, so this one does not heal, but we do get a fat barrier. I mean, I hope it's pretty fat. It does scale off her health. So if we build her high HP and high effect resist, I'm assuming. Because so far, guys, on the skill 2 and skill 3, we don't have any type of debuff help for her herself. So she is susceptible as well to getting stunned, to getting silenced, etc. Because she needs to be able to cleanse her team, right? But yeah, this is very strong so far, especially for a 4-star. That hopefully you guys can get either through Galaxy Bookmarks or through the Mystic Summons. Remember, guys, whenever you're Mystic Summoning 4 stars especially, the value, I think, is not there just yet, unless it's a unit like Angel of Light Angelica. While Infinite Horizon Achates already, I haven't even seen the skill 1 yet and given my full thoughts, but both the skills being very strong, there's just a lot of Soul Weavers out there, so I can already tell if this is her kit, even though she might end up being extremely strong, right? Let's just say she's meta. There's still other options out there. There's so many great Soul Weavers that kind of bring different things to the table. Usually you just take parts of their kit, and one of them will be on the more extreme ends. Like I was talking about Amelia the other day. You have Destina. This is kind of like a combination of Green Rin with the buffs. Just way more sustain and cleanse. Less offensive capabilities. You don't ever, I don't think, need just like a single Soul Weaver. If anything, I would say the only cleanser, he's not even a Soul Weaver, would be like Mediator Kulweric, just because of his ease of use and his unique buffs. But overall, yeah, just where was I even at? Don't spend 120 mystics unless you really like Achates, or you're just lacking a lot of other Soul Weavers, okay? Because there's a lot of others. If you guys just have Destina, if you guys are gonna pick up Amelia next week, they have combat readiness push, they have heals. You may not need Achates necessarily, but I really like her kit overall so far. Seems very, very strong in a debuff heavy meta, as long as we're able to resist ourselves on Infinite Horizon Achates. So skill 1 is Mysterious Design, the classic stun, kind of like Maid Chloe bonks. Let's see here. So 40% effect chance, and then we can soul burn that to 100%. All right, 100% stun, guys, is always very, very strong. 10 souls, right? It's pretty relevant. It's a lot of times just using that can win you a match alone. So this is not bad at all. And I guess that is it. All right, I just want to look through the skills again real fast. Unbridled Potential was the skill 2. That's 2-turn cooldown, right? Barrier Strength on the skill enhancement. Skill 3 was the big Dispel All. 4 turns with very nice buffs and a heal on top of that. Okay, I'm curious to see the Barrier Strength and her healing. Let's go ahead and watch this, and maybe we'll catch a few things here and there on the showcase. Actually, I always forget this, guys. Let's go ahead and look at the idle animation 2 real fast. Animation's pretty good. I like her design. Oh, wow. I like her. She looks good without the hood as well. Right? With that hair. All right. Combat demo. Idle animation, very strong. Okay. Overall thoughts while we just let this play in the background, guys. I kind of concluded it when I was telling y'all maybe don't spend like 120 mystics on summoning her unless you really, really like her and are lacking a lot of other Soul Weavers. That's even if she does end up being an extremely strong Soul Weaver, just because the Soul Weaver pool right now is, there's a lot of options out there. And while Shooting Star Achates might be slightly better for you guys, or maybe a lot better, there's always other options there. And it's just, you're spending 120 out of 200 mystics that could go towards a Conqueror Lilius, an Apocalypse Saravi, just to name a few examples. Yeah, that's the only reason I say so. It's quite a lot for a 4-star compared to a 5-star in terms of the mystic spending. But I do think she's very strong, guys, and I think those of you that have Achates dupes, make sure y'all have been saving up those Achates dupes, because I think the most important thing, her skills are very strong. Skill 3, insanely strong, has the potential to you just get greater attack buff or some other very strong debuffs depending on who you bring, and it could be over from there if your opponent's not prepared. The little bit RNG, but it's good RNG. Yeah, the strengths outweigh the cons in terms of like missing or getting potentially good buffs for this units you're supporting. Skill 2 also very, very strong, and then you have a stun on skill 1 that can be 100% activated for a 100% stun as long as we don't get resisted. So very, very strong unit, I think. The only problem is she has no help with her effect resist, and her base effect resist isn't that high either. So you need to make sure she's triple S, and you need to make sure you give her a lot of effect resist, guys, because if you can see in this example here, let's say we're fighting this Angel of Light Angelica and we get silenced on our Achates, right, which is actually a common thing depending on how much effectiveness they put. There's some crazies out there that'll put 200 plus on here, 250, even higher. Units like Pirate Captain Flan, right, I've seen 250 plus is like a norm for some people. If your Achates isn't pushing extremely high ER and you get silenced, it's all over from there. We all know how strong debuffs can be, and she doesn't have any inherent help with resist. So I would put on, right, triple S imprint, self imprint always, and then try to get extra help from an artifact as well. There's a lot of artifacts out there that give, some resist help. Unfading Memories, Guardian Ice Crystal, Shamadra Staff. Depending on how much effect resist you need, I would try to get a very high amount, because that's the main thing, right? She needs to be able to take care of her team. And I think a lot of that, guys, one other thing is the skill 3. Let's go back one more time. I think we want to hold the skill 3 as long as possible. Use the skill 2 instead, and then get that big skill 3 payoff. Now, of course, if you guys want to rip that skill 3, if you guys are gambling, you want to just get those early buffs, hey, that sounds really fun as well, as long as you get some value out of it. But remember that you get more value cycling her if you can hold off, because we'll get that combat readiness push, and then you can get an even bigger payoff getting the full dispel, right? That we want to have our units being debuffed. A lot of times, like let's say versus Angel of Light Angelica, things like that, you want to play a game of chicken and hold on to your full cleanse until she rips her skill 3. But we have a skill 2 that also does 2 cleanses as well, and also combat readiness push on a 2-turn cooldown. So very strong unit, guys. I'm excited. I think a lot of people will really like her. Just make sure you triple S her and get her effect resist on point. Thank you so much for watching. We'll wrap things up there, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, guys.